Little late on the upload today. I know. I apologize. I am here now to finish off the rest of Gustav, the Maneater. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sending out a lot of love. Actually, I want to bring up the comments on the other video because, yeah, I don't know. Just like to have them to the side. Boom. Absolute mad lads. Bro, his intro, still funny to this day. Gustav is the current most powerful animal in the world. Count. Yep. So yeah, by Irwin, crocodiles can be pretty fast, but they're primarily ambush hunters who generally need that little burst of speed to catch their prey before they can react. Despite Gustav being quite a chonker, crocodiles are stupidly sneaky. And then since they can hide like 99% of their body underwater and only their nostrils and eyes sticking out, yeah. So that made me go, oh yeah, that's right. They are ambush hunters. So I was like, yeah, probably getting a jump on the dudes with the AK-47. Imagine if they showed some sign of like, I'm pretty sure over I'm trying to find a way to word this. Like repetitively seeing the same thing. So probably certain hunters with guns, it was like a learned behavior over time. Like not go to that dude right there with the pointy stick in his hand. So yeah, Gustav probably really became quite resilient against these dudes. Jesus though, let's get into it. Let's waste no more time. Sorry again for the late upload. Just working on stuff behind the scenes, but let's go.
They noticed that his body was covered in black markings from possible rifle fire, and he also had a massive lump on his right shoulder blade, which
actually I don't like where this ended. I think I'm gonna go a little bit back and then start,
as much as they could about him from a safe distance.
Yeah.
And to give you an indication of Gustav's size compared to other crocodiles, here are your average Nile crocodiles. This is Gustav. Jesus Christ. They noticed that his body was covered in black markings from possible rifle fire, and he also had a massive lump on his right shoulder blade, which was suspected to have come from a spear wound. But despite this, he was still able to move and hunt like it was nothing. And he also showed no sign of weakness or pain. Basically, he was so big and his hide was so thick that bullets pretty much did nothing. Now that the team knew his location...
You guys were waiting for me to get to that. His hide was so thick that bullets were practically useless. That's insane, because that's kind of what I was thinking about. I was like, how are dudes with guns losing to the crocodile? But that makes a little bit more sense, as if they're ambush predators coupled together with their amazing stealth sneak 100 from Skyrim, coupled together with them literally, yes, just being underwater with only peeking out like the very tops of their heads, and then being able to be resistant to a certain amount of bullets, I'm assuming, to get the jump on the dude firing the gun. So maybe a slight form of that. It's almost like, yeah, they literally just know that probably should go for the guy who's spraying bullets at me with an AK-47.
It was time to try and capture Gustav once and for all. Patrice had commissioned for a massive cage to be built, which he hoped would be big enough and strong enough to hold him. It was measured at a total of 10 metres long, 2 metres wide, and 1.5 metres high. The aim was to lure Gustav in with some kind of bait, and once he had fully entered the cage, the trapdoor would shut. The team would then sedate Gustav and then safely transport him to his new enclosure. So they moved the cage to a riverbank where Gustav was active, and then prepared to spring the trap. At first, they tried covering the opposite end of the cage with cow's blood and placed the head of a dead cow in there for good measure. Though Gustav was always seen swimming near the cage, he never once took the bait. After several days of this, the team were convinced that Gustav would be more willing to enter the cage if there was live bait swimming around in the water. So they got one of the villagers I'm joking. They got a live chicken.
Yo, because of how nonchalant Count, oh my gosh, I almost forgot his name. There's right there, Count Dankula. I almost wanted to just call him straight up Count Dracula, but how nonchalant and like smooth he is with how he delivers his content and like his script he put together. I literally was bought for a second. I was bought that they literally was like, hey, get in the water, swim against this massive creature, and don't worry, we got you. I really thought it was going to turn into that situation. That caught me. That really caught me. I just took the bait.
And tied it to the end of the cage and waited to see what Gustave would do. This, in fact, did very little, as Gustave didn't even approach the cage over the course of several nights.
Damn.
At this point, the team were getting so desperate that they even enlisted the help of a local witch doctor. They hoped that some local custom would provide some sort of unique insight as to how Gustave could be successfully lured into the cage.
I think that if we started, we have to go all the way. Then we'll see. But, well, you know, you never know in the end.
So it got so far to the point where they enlisted the help of a witch doctor. Okay, I know I'm just saying that back because you heard it in the video too, but damn. And then he said they had to go all the way. I guess that's really the step you go to. Might as well call everybody at this point. Might as well just try to strip naked and do a Gustav dance. Summon the almighty Gustav.
Difficult to say. Maybe there are things that they know that we don't know.
Part of this ritual involved placing the shaman's own dog into the cage.
Okay, if the shaman, hang on. If this actually works, that'll blow my mind. That would be an even bigger twist to the video. If what the shaman does actually works, that'll be crazy.
As some sort of spiritual offering to the demon who apparently controlled Gustave. Though the shaman did mention that he was getting quite sick of the dog anyway, so it was a convenient way for him to get rid of it.
Wow.
Arsehole.
Shamans.
And what must have come as a complete shock to everyone was that Gustave's demon was not compelled by this offering. The dog also managed to escape the cage and get out alive, so thankfully no real harm was done. But aside from using voodoo, the team tried to vary their methods of capture by setting up snares across the riverbank. Unfortunately, they only managed to capture baby crocodiles, who are notorious for having no impulse control. In fact, studies show that baby crocodiles are so dumb that they can literally fall into the same trap up to 3 times in one day, just as long as there's food in the trap. Finally, the team decided to up the ante and placed an entire live goat in the cage, which hopefully would entice Gustave. Sacrificial goat sounds a lot more traditional than sacrificial dog anyway.
Yeah.
However,
I felt like
a massive rainstorm fell upon the trap's location one evening.
Bro, they just got the goat.
Ended up shorting out the infrared observation camera, and it made the ground under the cage completely collapse. When the team woke up the next morning, they found the cage entirely submerged in the river, rendering it completely useless. The team were...
Bro, imagine how heartbreaking that was to see to them. Yo, that freaking sucks. Yo, and then that means they had the goat bound up by the neck. That means the goat drowned. There's no way.
Unable to build a new cage in time, as they were already coming to the end of their deadline at this point. They were ultimately forced to call it quits, so that they had enough time to pack up and leave.
They recorded themselves playing checkers? Was that actual found footage of them playing checkers? They were so down bad, they just said, hey, load up the game of checkers.
Before the shooting started. What perplexed Patrice the most about the huge trap's failure wasn't the fact that it didn't manage to capture Gustave, but that it didn't capture any adult crocodiles at all.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're
thought I
all
was thinking
thinking
about
and
that.
what some of you horrible people are probably hoping for. You're hoping that they eventually did manage to get Gustav in the cage, and then there was a big Jurassic Park moment where someone gets pulled into the cage, limbs are flying everywhere or something like that, but no, none of that happened.
Wow. He pulled from my mind what I wasn't even considering. I was not thinking about that at all. I was just waiting for them to actually, like, to hear the twist that they actually caught him. But now that he said that, that would be mildly entertaining. I mean, it is a big beast in the wild. At this point, it's seeming like the most you could do is put out a warning. Put out a warning that Gustav, the absolute man-eating dragon, is on just technically not on the loose. It is the alligator's wild, right? And then we built in certain areas and considered it this alligator should not be here. But like, okay, I'm gonna get that mixed up again. Yeah, okay, I get that mixed up in my mind and like be forgetting kind of what I'm talking about when I say alligator or crocodile, but it is an alligator, right? Yeah, here I go. Not even paying attention. Point is, I'm on a different point, and that is actually crazy. Like, it's Gustav's wild. Come on now. So just put signs. Hey, if you want to risk fishing today, be my guest. Just know, there's a crocodile the size of your raft somewhere in these murky waters, and you may anger the beast of the lake. Let's just call it a day. We can't capture it, but there's still 9 minutes of the video, so let's find out.
We never managed to catch him at all.
Did the rising waters help the monster to escape his hunters?
No.
Did the trap fail just as Gustav entered the cage?
Clearly.
Whatever the circumstances, the scientists will never know precisely what happened that night.
There's maybe a few explanations for the trap's failure. Adult crocodiles can go for months without eating, if absolutely forced to.
Okay.
So maybe Gustav and the other crocodiles just had a bad feeling about the cage and decided to take their chances somewhere else. Also, perhaps Gustav was so used to taking on much bigger prey that the small bait offered to him in the cage just simply didn't interest him.
True.
And
true.
Also because Gustav is the alpha male, the other crocodiles would have probably refused to touch this free food.
Okay.
Because it was on his turf. I'm not at all an expert in any of this, so this is just me speculating.
Yeah.
If there, for some reason, are any crocodile experts watching this video, then hit me up in the comments and give me a bit of an explanation. Just please make sure that your animal studies degree didn't come from Reddit. Despite this failed attempt, Patrice never gave up on trying to capture Gustav. After the conflict had died down in Burundi by 2004, Patrice, alongside a team from National Geographic, attempted to find Gustav and place a tracking beacon on him. This wouldn't lead to a direct capture in and of itself, but it would serve as an early warning system for people fishing or relaxing near the lake. Whenever Gustav...
Okay, so basically exactly what I said, but they even went a step above. Oh wow, I paused the video at 2:22. But that's exactly what I was saying in the beginning. And to make the comment, they went above and beyond. They actually put a tracker so they could warn people in the area. But that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, I don't know how they didn't just think of this from the beginning. You know, they're so quick to tag other things like sharks, other things, just to keep a track. Just, you know, just see the growth. See them, you know, gather whatever studies they need on the creature. But, you know, who didn't think to just tag Gustav and just like, hey, we're like, even he's probably going to go into it now, but even tag Gustav and have that lead into a capture later on. Like he said, it didn't lead into an immediate capture, but now it can. like, if they have an idea where he's going, it has to just, the next thing he has to talk about is the eventual capture, isn't it? Because, like, yeah. I wonder how they had to tag him, kind of put like a, I forgot what they do to sharks. Do they attach it to the fin, or is it like condensed down to like the smallest dot where they could just like on the shark, like, or is it like, because they used to put tags on the fin, right? I can't remember. So yeah, but that's cool that they put like a tracker on Gustav. Let's just see.
Became active in the area. However, border skirmishes between troops from the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Burundi meant that any serious attempt to travel up the Ruzizi River was next to impossible without getting killed. This would be the last major attempt anyone would make at tracking or capturing Gustav. So where is Gustav now?
Is Gustav actually alive for free?
We don't know, actually. Though, people have caught sight of him since 2008 and at infrequent points throughout the years. He was claimed to have been killed in 2019, though there is no photo evidence or detailed descriptions to indicate that this is true. This has just been claimed, and there is absolutely no evidence to support it. I mean, you don't just kill a crocodile the size of a bus and not take a picture, or at least try and transport it home for a trophy, or at least take the skin.
Exactly. You don't, he's not wrong. There's no way there's no evidence of this monster out. He's still out there. Because the part about transferring it home or taking the skin, someone at least on the road would be like, holy shit, you were lugging the haul that big of that crocodile? Let me see that. Pull over real quick and try to take a picture. There's absolutely no way.
Skin, because it's worth a lot of money. It's like, you just don't do that. So
okay. Now that we're in 2022, before I finish the rest of the video, let me know down below. Has there anything surfaced about Gustav? And in 2022, has Gustav been conquered? Has Gustav the absolute beast been vanquished? I would hate to hear yes.
I'm calling shenanigans. I don't believe that he was killed in 2019. Nile crocodiles are able to live until 100 years old. So between that and the fact that he survived literal gunshot wounds from AK-47s, I think we can assume that he's still alive and well. We just have no idea where he is. Which is pretty terrifying. Patrice always made his best effort to monitor Gustave, but his work was unfortunately interrupted in 2011 after he was accused of being the Burundi Jimmy Savile. And he was sentenced to 25 years in prison. However, French diplomats in Burundi cast huge doubt over the validity of the trial and its conclusions. They noticed that there was often incomplete or inconsistent evidence which was just accepted by the judge, and the proceedings of the trial itself were described as being utterly shambolic. I mean, I wouldn't expect a country that's been constantly genociding itself for decades to have a great justice system either. The conditions of Patrice's imprisonment were actually so bad that his physical and mental health had almost completely deteriorated. The French diplomats successfully negotiated for Patrice to be extradited back to France. This was because if the Burundi government refused, it would have qualified as an abuse of international human rights. Even though Patrice was thankfully able to return to France and not literally be rotting in a dungeon, it's still sad to see that the country he worked so hard to improve had just stuck a middle finger in his face and told him to beat it on what were most likely completely false charges.
Yeah.
At least I really hope they were false charges. It really makes you consider who the real villains
Oh shit.
are in this story.
He's not wrong.
Was it a giant crocodile that was just acting on instinct and at least avoided humans when he didn't need to hunt? Or was it those very same humans that wage constant race wars against each other and even punish the people who try to help them? Can you tell that I'm banking on Patrice's charges being false? In fact,
Yeah,
it might
he's
have been
begging.
humans that allowed the Nile crocodiles to get a taste for human flesh to begin with. The Democratic Republic of the Congo was notorious for throwing piles of dead genocide victims in rivers for the crocodiles to feed on. And they get a taste for it. And if the governments in Africa spent more time protecting crocodile hunting grounds instead of waging war against their own people all the time, then maybe those same crocodiles wouldn't be so desperate for food that they try and attack humans.
He's not wrong. Yeah.
A crocodile expert called Brady Barr, who was actually with Patrice and the National Geographic team in 2004, said, "The biggest crocs I've ever seen have been in communist nations or countries at war, places like Cuba, Burma, and Cambodia.
Because the bodies.
They have survived because people have other things to worry about." I think it's also because in communist countries and countries at war, there are a lot of bodies getting thrown into rivers
Yeah.
for the crocs to eat.
Yeah.
That's why they get so big.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just goes to show that in communist countries, at least the animals get food. At this point, Gustave would have turned 66.
What a statement. When was this video? Oh, 2021. Okay.
Years old.
He's 66.
And it seems that the only thing that's going to kill him at this stage is aging.
Is aging. Wow.
It would be nice if he could one day be rediscovered and used as a force for good in conservation projects.
Yeah.
The last alleged sighting of Gustave was in 2016 when a fisherman claimed that he saw Gustave dragging a massive buffalo into the river. But despite there being no sightings of him since then, people are still going missing. And Gustave's current body count as of recording this video is allegedly around 300. I hope that if this video has communicated only one thing, it's that all animals, regardless of how dangerous they are all still beautiful parts of nature, and more effort should be taken to protect them and their homes.
Yeah.
Maybe not Gustave, though.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube! Everybody should subscribe!
Alex Jones and Count Dankula? Yeah. Yo, yeah. That's cool. Oh, I forgot this was the video with the freaking raid shadow at just the beginning. Hang on, I guess I just want to check out the comments. Being able to hunt hippos is quite impressive. Hippos are generally known to be one of the few creatures that can stand up to crocodiles. Hippos are freaking dangerous from what I've seen. Imagine talking about Gustav in the past tense, like this fucking dragon isn't still out there plotting in the swamp somewhere for real. Sir Gustav is no monster, a genuine freak, a true beast, the devil. Hippos are terrifying, and Gustav, the legend, ate them. A mad lad indeed. Yeah, if only Harambe were alive, we could have had the fight of the century. Oh my gosh, Godzilla versus King Kong. Jesus, I got that right away, if that's what they meant. Well, I'm not ending the video just yet. What do you think? You think Gustav is still out there? I think Gustav is still out there. If Gustav, by the point of this video, was 66, we're coming up on March 15th again this year, so he will turn 67. That'll be amazing if someone... Has the war over there ended? Has there been any other further try to search to, get Gustav? Yeah, right. I think that's my last thing. Modern people, how could ancient people worship animals? That's so stupid. Gustav is a literal unkillable animal god. Gustav is literally, what's the Egyptian, let's look it up, an Egyptian crocodile god. Sebek. I don't know if it's Sebek, god of the Nile. Sobek. He was the Lord of the Crocodiles and depicted with a crocodile head. Sobek created the order in the universe world from the dark. Yeah, there's another crocodile. There's an actual crocodile thing that eats your body or eat your soul. I might be thinking of the wrong one. It might just literally be Sobek or Sobek. I'm saying it wrong. Sorry, Sobek. Shout out to Sobek. But yeah, okay, we'll go with Sobek. This is literally Gustave. That's him as Gustave. He's alive. He's alive. All right, much love and moonlight to y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Sorry for the late upload today and only one. I have to get things done in the background before I go to try to do my crazy upload schedule stuff. But other than that, again, much love and moonlight to y'all, and yeah, peace out. Shout out to Count Dankula again. This is awesome. I like Gustav. I like these Mad Lad videos. Even though I think this is my second one now. The first one with Dozer, that Dozer guy. Oh man, justice for him, man. Justice for him. All right, I'm out of here.